Now let's look at the next tools and techniques for gathering customer intelligence. And we're busy with the UK Design Council's Double Diamond, exploring the problem space that customers are experiencing and trying to find a couple of well-defined problem definitions which we can then explore to find solutions for customers. The first one we looked at was outcome-driven innovation, or jobs to be done, by Tony Ulwick and Clayton Christensen. Excellent method, and the one we're going to look at now is Kano modeling by Professor Noriaki Kano. And how does this start? So we again draw up a kind of a sort of Boston matrix comparing two aspects to each other. And the first one is looking at potential features of a solution. And it goes all the way from a feature not being implemented at all through to a feature being fully implemented. And then customers, how they may experience this. So a customer might be either very dissatisfied with the situation, or they may be very satisfied with a situation. Now, the way that customers experience these features, this space is quite interesting. The first types we're going to look at are basic needs. These are the kind of features which satisfy basic needs. So why basic need? Let's assume, so let's just talk about this graph. So if we look at the side where the feature is not implemented at all, we see that customer satisfaction is extremely low. They're very dissatisfied that this feature is not there. All the way through to the feature being fully implemented, and customers not being super satisfied, but at least being, satisfied that the feature is implemented. Now this applies to things like my hotel room is clean. And if the feature is not implemented, that means the hotel room is extremely dirty. So most customers will be extremely dissatisfied if their hotel room is very dirty, all the way through to it being very clean. And customers would be quite happy. But let's say the hotel goes the extra mile and they say, we follow a very scientific process whereby we remove every single dust particle and every single microbe. This hotel room is so clean, you could perform heart transplant surgery in here. It's amazing. And customers would go, oh, I really like the fact that you clean the room so much. And then the hotel might go, well, that's why we charge $1,000 a night extra. And most customers would go, well, then I'm not going to be interested in your room. The fact that you have the super cleanest rooms on the entire planet, it's neither here nor there for me, sort of. I just like my room to be pretty much clean. Thank you. So these are these basic needs. Extremely dissatisfied if they're not there. But if you put more in and more in and more in, customers don't really become ecstatic. They sort of expect the stuff, basic needs. Then we have linear needs. And these are the ones where if you put in more, customers are happier. And if you put in even more, customers are happier. So let's say that we look at hotel room size. So if the room is extremely small, so the feature almost not implemented, customers are going to be quite dissatisfied. I don't like sleeping standing up in a closet. I would like to have some space to lie down. That would be nice. So, if we increase the room size, then customers would like that more. They would go, well, the room is quite large and I like it. I've got space for a bed now. I can actually lie down. I can put my luggage somewhere. Yeah, so starting to work for me. I like this. Now, if we make the room even larger, like really large, and you have a huge king-size bed in there and a lot of luggage space and so forth, well, customers would like that even more. Yeah, I love this. This is great. It's getting better and better. Next, let's make the bathroom really large. In fact, let's not have a bath in there. Let's put a jacuzzi in there, a massive jacuzzi, and the room is enormous. In fact, we've got a lounge suite attached to this room. So you can sit there and chat with your friends and so forth, and you don't have to go into the bedroom the whole time. So you've got this whole sort of like an apartment basically inside this hotel building, fitted to the greatest extent possible. So if you go into the presidential suite of some of the best hotels around the world, these suites are enormous. Everything is oversized. But not only that, the price is also oversized. But customers are prepared to pay for it. If you do more of it, people like it more, and they're also prepared to pay more for it. So these are your typical linear or performance kind of need. More is better, and we'll pay for it most likely. And then we get delighters. These are things which people don't really expect. It's things that surprises them, which is out of the norm. And it's not necessarily always have to do with financial gain. But obviously, sometimes it does, but it's something that is out of the norm. So in a hotel room, this might be something like you walk into the hotel room and reception basically said to you, hey, guess what? In our rooms, the minibar is free. Well, that is fantastic. Really? I can finish the minibar up? What's going to happen then? Well, we'll just restock it for you, sir. Well, many customers that I know would be very happy if they found out that the hotel resort that they went to had an unlimited minibar. Not always leads to great consequences, maybe, but many people would like that. Maybe something a bit more different. You get to the reception desk and let's say, and we also provide you free spa treatments. 1 spa treatment per day for the occupants of the room. Wow, really? Well, if I look at the price, I wasn't expecting that. That's quite interesting. Free spa treatments. Wow, that is really fantastic. I love it. So these are these delighters. Maybe it's small as something like a little chocolate on your pillow when you get into the room at night. So, well, thank you. It's a nice private touch. Or some flower petals on the bed or something to make it that bit more special. And it's typically something you tell your friends about. Wow, I was at this hotel and they did this and it was awesome. Now, over time, delighters tend to become basic needs. So maybe 50 years ago, a hotel could say, and guess what? Each one of our rooms has a television inside it. And people would go, wow, imagine that. You go to a hotel and they have a television in your room. Can you believe it? It's delightful. I'm ecstatic. It's wonderful. Nowadays, if a hotel says to the customer when they're checking in, and guess what, sir? You also have a TV in your room. The response would probably be, I sure as hell hope so. So it turns into a basic need over time. So how do we go about determining whether features are delighters or linear or must-haves or whatever the case may be? So the first thing we do is we take this feature and we put it into a functional form question. And then the customer can choose in this functional form, how happy are they? Or how irrelevant is it to them? And based upon that, we can start formulating how customers think about this. So for this instance, so if your room was really clean, would you dislike it? No, I wouldn't dislike it if my room is clean. I want my room clean. So yes, it gets up to I expect it to be that way. I'm not quite neutral. So if it's there or not there, I'm not neutral about it. I like the fact that my room is clean, but I'm not ecstatic about it. So I sort of expect it that way. So that's why we ticked expect. Then you also ask the dysfunctional form of the question. Now imagine your room is super dirty. We did not clean it at all. Do you like it that way? Are you happy about it? No, definitely not. Do you expect your room to be dirty? No. Are you neutral about your room being dirty? No, I'm not neutral about my room dirty. Can you live with it if it's filthy? Actually, no, I can't live with it. I'm not going to check in here. I'm going to go to another hotel. So you pretty much really don't like it if the room is dirty. Absolutely, I dislike it. So there's the functional form of the question and the dysfunctional form of the question, and the customer indicates how do they feel about this feature being fully implemented or completely not there. Now, we can now rank these again, not really rank, but compare these two forms of the question against each other. And as we tally up customer responses, we'll be able to determine whether a feature is a delighter or a must-have or a linear type feature. And how it works is the following. So there's the functional form of the question, and then there's the dysfunctional form of the question, and the kind of responses that customers can give for each one. So, and we're gonna map now which responses mean that a feature is a must-have. So let's first look at features which customers are pretty much indifferent to. So these are features like if the dysfunctional form, the customer response is, well, I'm quite neutral about it. You know, whether it's working or not, I don't really mind. Or, you know, it's incredibly well implemented, but I expect it that way. And if it's not really well implemented, well, I don't really mind. I expect it that way as well. So it's like customers are indifferent to what you're doing here. It doesn't really matter to them. It's like saying to a customer, how would you like it if your hotel room had LED light bulbs? Oh, okay, that's nice. How would you feel if it didn't have LED light bulbs, but had tungsten light bulbs? Well, you know, would it be hotter in the room or something? Would it be darker? No, it'll be the same. You'll have the same amount of light, and the room will cost the same. Everything's the same. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe tungsten. I don't really care. You know, whatever the case may be. So these are the kind of things which customers don't really care about, and it's up to the hotel based upon other kind of factors whether something should be done in this way or another way. Let's look at the must-haves. So for the dysfunctional form of the question, customers are saying, I really don't like it that this thing is not there. It's like the room being clean. The room is dirty. I really dislike it. And on the other side, if the room is clean, how do you feel about it? Well, I can live with it, or I expect it to be that way, and I'm neutral about it because it's clean. You know, I expect it to be clean. So I'm not going to be ecstatic and phone my friends and say, hey, my hotel room is clean. Can you believe that? It's supposed to be like that. So these are the must-haves. If it's not there, very unhappy. And if it is there, I'm also not going to be super ecstatic. Okay, so these are typically where your must-haves fall. These are your linear kind of features. So if something is not there, I'm very unhappy. I don't like it. So if something is not there, I don't like it. But if it is there, the more you have of it, the happier I am. And if I have even more, I'm even happier. So the more functional, the more we implement this feature, the more of it we implement, the happier customers become. So these are your typical linear type features. Your delighters, we can spot delighters by looking at the dysfunctional form of the question. So if customers are sort of saying, you know, if this feature is not there, it's not like I'm extremely upset. It's more like, well, I never expected something like this. I expected it to not be there, or I can live with it not being there. But gosh, if it is there on the functional side, I really like it. But if it's not there, well, you know, I wasn't really expecting it. Okay, typical, the free spa treatment. Sir, or ma'am, did you know that your hotel does not offer free spa treatments? Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting any free spa treatments. But on the reverse, ma'am, would you really like it if your hotel offered free spa treatments? Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic. Really? That would be awesome at this price. That would be wonderful. Okay, so these are typical, those kind of questions. The next two combinations are the ones which are questionable. And this is basically one group of your customer base saying, I'm super happy if this feature is fully implemented. But in the same breath, another group of your customers are saying, I'm super unhappy if this feature is fully implemented. It's sort of like, you know, what's going on? There's some kind of a massive segmentation of your customer base. Something is happening. Investigate this because something doesn't quite make sense. And it might be something like a feature being, when you check into our hotel, we offer you 3 free Cuban cigars. Oh, and where can I smoke them? Oh, you can smoke them in your room, ma'am. Oh, well, first of all, I don't want cigars, disgusting. And second, people are smoking cigars in these rooms, that's terrible. Whereas there might be another customer that arrives and says, free cigars, Cubans, oh, I love it. And I can smoke them in the room. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to be watching television while smoking my Cuban cigar. Isn't that fantastic? Whatever the case may be. You can see how there's a massive difference in how customers perceive this kind of feature. And you need to think about probably something around segmentation, or you know, something has just gone really wrong in how you went about this. The last combinations are really telling you that you probably asked your question the wrong way around. So it's something like, if the feature is there, people dislike it, and if it's not there, they really like it. So that probably means you've formulated your question in the incorrect way. And it could be something like smoking again, where you said the functional form of the question is, you can smoke in every room. That's the functional form of the question. And these days, most customers probably would go, well, I don't really like that. That's not good. And if you say you can't smoke in every room, most people would go, well, of course you can't smoke in every room. It would be crazy these days. So you just need to sort of turn the question around and say, if we don't allow smoking in every room as the functional form of the question, then people would most likely like that. So you need to think about reversing your question. The next step is we tally up all of these responses. So for feature 1, most customers fell into the delighter or the linear or the whichever case may apply. And the one with the most, we assume most likely that is how most people will think about this feature. So feature 1 in this example is 43.8, the highest score, so it's a linear kind of feature. So if we put more effort into this, people will probably like it more, and they might also be prepared to pay more. It's a critical thing. Feature 2, it's a must-have. So we can't take this feature away, and we probably cannot sell a reduced version of our product without this feature, because then people just wouldn't buy it. It's like saying in a hotel, we can save costs by not cleaning our rooms, and then we can charge customers less and we'll get more business. No, you won't get more business, because it's a must-have. The rooms must be clean. You can't do anything without the rooms being clean. And feature 3, a delighter. So most customers telling you that, I don't really expect this, but if it's there, wow, I would love it. Yeah. So you can definitely think about investing, and the trick in this instance is mostly about, how can we make it viable? How can we, is it feasible and viable to add this delighter to what we're doing, or it's differentiation from the competition, something new that people didn't expect. So that's Kano modeling. Another way for us to think about what do customers like, and what are their problems, and where should we focus our efforts as we're invading the future to provide better and better solutions to our customers.